Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ben, One Piece Products. I wanted to introduce an install for our new kit, 55 through 59 Chevy truck bodies. It's the Apache body style. We're gonna go over some of the install methods, little tricks that I use for the install. I make myself a little template for the pattern of the switch, so I can line it up so it lines up to the hole positions. 3 mounting holes for this switch. I'm gonna line it up here. It's gonna just fit across with the wiring closest to the hinge side of the door, and then we run the wires through. But I want to mount this first before the regulator goes in, because you can't put this on after the regulator's in because of the location of the regulator. So this has got to be in first. Now, because this spot right here, this hole right here is very close to the ridge of the mounting point of the bracket. When you bolt it from the inside, you won't be able to bolt it because of the ridge here. So this ridge right here, I flatten out. I just take some channels and then just flatten it out. Okay. On. So now we just got to run the wires. The motors that we use are reverse polarity motors, meaning the 2 wires coming out of the motor, they're both one's a negative, one's a positive, depending on the direction you want the motor to go in. So if you plug it in and it's not working in the direction you want, just flip the wires and it'll go in the direction that you're looking for. It's just you got to reverse it. That's it. Regulator. See how the regulator is going to mount right here and right here? That's why you have to mount this before the regulator goes on, because if not, you won't have access to bolt it from the inside. This wire is too long, so I normally clip it down and bolt it onto one of the spots on the regulator. Usually the closest spot from here to here. So I'll cut it in a little bit. This wire is your power. Runs through the loom. We're gonna be punching a hole with my hole saw. Basically, normally on these 55 through 9s, second hole, the second slot at the recess above the hinge is usually where I start, and then I go high from there. So from here, I go up, but because of this push button right here for your door light, your dome light, I actually I'm gonna stagger it a little bit so it's on the inside more. Okay, so that's the ideal position. 1-inch hole saw, by the way. Okay, so that's that hole. So that's gonna line up right there. So we'll be able to punch that through. Let me get a center punch so I can do the other hole. So if we do this, it should be out of the way right there. The power wire through that hole. Okay. You see it? And you just pull it through. That way it doesn't move. So when it's in the door, it's in its position. That makes sense? Yeah. It's a factory hole. So you can see the wire coming out of the door. You run it through your loom. Kind of have to wiggle it in there, pop it back out. This is gonna go through the hole in the body now. This is your power for your initial setup. Then we can wire it into the car after we're done. Pretty simple. You can get these on Amazon. I love it. It works on all kinds of stuff. So just leave it to the side. There's obviously no regulator there, so I can't power anything yet. But now we can put in the regulator. With the bolts already attached. These are from New Relics. They're specifically made for the one-piece conversion for the no vent, okay? They're made by New Relics. You notice how they're gonna have the swing arm in the back? This swing arm is what's gonna make the window articulate down as it goes up and down. What's gonna happen is the window's gonna drop in the back and then go down, as it goes back up, it levels out and seals all the way around the perimeter. So at this point, you basically, since your plug is hanging, just plug your regulator in. You should have power once I connect it. Once I connect it, you're working now. So the tricky part of this regulator is you have to be able to rotate it into the door. It's kind of funky, but it's just the way it's got to work because it's a big regulator. So as you put it in, sometimes they go in really easy, sometimes they don't. Oh, and it's in. Not too bad. So you put in the back roller into the channel. You could put it on after, or you could put it on now. Line up your holes for the regulator. Okay, now you got a working regulator in the door. It helps to have a light in the door now that you're working inside the door. Just put the light at the very bottom. Now you can see whatever you're doing inside. So here we go. Wow, lined up nicely. Okay, so one of the other things that have to happen, regulators in, we have to add the regulator roller stop in here so the articulation can work correctly, which is these stops. These will stop the roller at a certain position so the roller doesn't travel as much in the channel, so the articulation can work in its appropriate position. The template is provided by New Relics. So you basically line this template for both doors to this hole. So you have the big hole and then you have the small hole. So you line up the big hole, flush to the bottom, and that's your hole positions. You take your marker, and then what I still do, I actually drill another hole in the same position 1 inch from here to stop the roller further. Sometimes you have to add that in most doors just because you don't want the roller travel provided in this is not enough sometimes. So I do have to stop it further. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like this. This is basically how it lines up. this is the same problem. Right here, there's two layers of what's it called? Sheet metal. So this is why I make the bigger hole here, because you want to bolt to the inside layer. Same thing here. Okay, there's this door has several spots where there's double layers of sheet metal. I like to bolt to the inside part where it lays flat, because it'll be harder to have that gap in the middle between the bolts. Saw, another hole saw on this part right here. Here we go. Get the glass. When you receive the glass, you're gonna have the channel already attached to the glass. Just separate the screws. You're gonna notice some screws are tapered and some screws are dome. So these are the dome ones. These go in the front. The tapered ones, the ones with the tapered end, they go on the back. These are for the roller to slide through, because this area, the roller is gonna slide through back and forth, so it has to stay flush. Okay, just don't mix them up, because the roller will get stuck if you use the opposite screws. You just start arching it to the door. And it basically, I start on the back side, match the line, and then right here where it starts to taper, it meets your scraper area, I put a little crease in it, like that, nothing major. That way it's a straight down shot. So when you put it in your door, it lines up. So over here, it's the same thing. You create more of an arch. There we go. That is the oh, right here I'm urethaning the run channel, and this is a standard urethane. I think we provide this in the kit too. U428, it's primerless urethane. As long as your contact area is clean, I usually wipe it down with alcohol and mineral spirits. This part of the truck is already clean, so I don't have to worry about that. As long as the contact areas are clean, this is solid urethane. Now the horizontal channel that attaches to the glass and attaches to the regulator goes in. You remember the tapered side goes to the back. So you'll see the tapered holes and you see the flat holes. Flat holes go to the front. So normally I just slide it in this way and it goes right in. You're all set. See how the channel's at an angle? Ideally, that's where you want it at. It's not perfectly straight up and down. The front is always higher than the back. So you can see the angle position there. And at this point, you should be able to see the holes right here, the tapered holes. This is where the glass is going to mount to. You have access here to screw the two holes that are in the front. I mean, the two screws in the front and the two screws that are right here. You should be able to see it right here. Okay? Now at this point, we're going to be able to put the glass in. The glass goes in now. Backside goes down first. You angle it all the way down. Goes up. You can roll the regulator all the way down. You'll be fine. And then you gotta kind of have to line it up. back screws are the tapered ones, remember that? And then now you have access here for the 2 screws that go on the front. So at this point, glass is in, run channel's in, regulator's obviously in, powered up. We just now need to tackle the front vertical guide and possibly the adjustment on the swing action on the idler roller. This is the position it's got to be in. You got to make sure that the glass is in the channel the whole time as it goes up and down. So that's what's gonna, the front vertical guide, when you put it in, has to push the glass to the rear and it has to stay in the channel the whole time. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So holding the glass down, you'll see that that's maxed out at the bottom right there. The angle of the idler is in the down position. You should actually roll up right there. Bingo. So right there, you're good. I didn't have to make the adjustment in the idler just yet, but let me put the front vertical guide in and we'll figure that out. But it's kind of where I want it. So I'm just helping it right now just because there's no front vertical guide. You want the glass to be in that position right there. See how it's sticking up above right here? So this can be offset with the position of the doorstop here. Simply all I do is I grab some channel locks, twist the bracket where the glass meets that L bracket. Just twist it, and you'll be able to get about an inch drop here, giving you an inch drop here. So that'll bring it down further. If you don't mind this, then that's fine, but you can correct this by making the adjustment right here. So from here, it should go up again. No problem. Bingo. Like butter. So right now, it's actually going fast because of the 18 volts. Once we drop it down to 12, it's gonna go up and down a little bit slower at the normal rate, actually. That's normal is 12 volts. Right now, it's going fast because I'm running an 18 volt battery. So just FYI, if you're worried to focus on the speed is too fast right now anyways. Bottom hole, you line it up to your existing bolts for your door panel, 3/4 of an inch up. And then the top hole is 1.25 up from the regulator mounting hole. And then 1.25 up to 3/4 to the front of the truck. That's your upper mounting point. That's this one. Bottom one is here. We're just gonna drill the holes. The bottom one, I still like to use my hole saw because right here there's also layered sheet metal. So you want to bolt to the inside portion of the sheet metal. You see the layers? This is the secondary layer. Actually, it's double layered, but they're together, so you can just drill straight through. Because you want to be able to adjust it forward and back as you need to for your sweet spot for the door glass to work. down. Notice how it's not, we don't hear the clunk on the metal. So it's felt. You can put, not too bad. Friends, before I do the final install on the scrapers, I mock them up, so because I do have to trim the ends to make sure they fit in between the profile of the chrome on the run channels. So you'll notice this one is not cut and this one is cut. So you see how it's shorter compared to this one? And then also what I do is I tape, these are the plugs that go into the body. I tape the sides, line up the plug hole so I know where I'm gonna target it. That's why I line them up, and that's how I mock it up. So here we go. I'm not slapping it in yet. Technically I could. I just need to put from here forward. I use a little bit of urethane, and then I just tape it down, and that's it. I snap it in place, and it's done. Standard scraper off the kit. We will have to trim it down from this end and this end, just so it lines up to the chrome here and the chrome in the back. We also gonna line up the tabs here. Sometimes they're hard to line up, so you will have to kind of shimmy them to line up to the hole originally in the door. I had to do it on the outside one. You're probably gonna have to do it to the inside one. Sometimes you get lucky, they line up perfectly. So that's an adjustment point. You just gotta have to find your wiggle spot. So from here, you line up the clips to the lines we just made, and they're not too bad. So at this point, you're gonna see where your line is on your chrome. Take your Sharpie, line it up to almost where this one is at. You see the outside? You see the outside chrome where I cut it? You kind of want them to match. So you kind of line it up there, and that line right there is gonna line up to this chrome here. So that's gonna be my cut line. From there, I just do a relief cut straight down. The same thing goes to the back. So since that hasn't moved, actually, it's pretty line. This one is off. So I gotta move that one. So the same thing goes here. That's it. So from there we cut it. Visit our website at www.onepieceproducts.com. I appreciate any feedback, any recommendations. We are here to improve like anybody else. We're open-minded about that. So if you have any feedback, positive or negative, I'm open for both. So that's how we get better, don't we? Thank you for visiting us. Have a good day.